Yo, what's going on everybody? Today is Monday, May 24th. Glad to be back. It's been a minute, huh? It's been several weeks. My name is Ryan, I'm a CPA, and today I'm going to be talking about the child tax credit, the expanded child tax credit for 2021. But first, of course, as always, I gotta beg for your approval by asking you to subscribe to my channel and to smash that like button if you think you'll find this video helpful. All right. So yeah, coming back from an insane tax season, had a little bit of chance to rest, and now we're back up on videos, which I'm really happy about. And today, I think something important to talk about is the child tax credit. And even though it's for the 2021 year, it's important to talk about it now for several reasons, okay? So first, what is the child tax credit? It's a $2,000 tax credit that you get for having a kid under 17 years old, okay? But that tax credit has since been expanded from the American Rescue Plan signed into law by Joe Biden and his administration. And so now that credit is worth up to $3,600 per child. So it's $3,600 for any child that you have under 6 years old, and it's $3,000 per child that you have between the ages of 6 and 17 years old. What this plan also did was make the credit completely refundable. That means that you can get a refund from this tax credit, even if you didn't have any earned income at all. Okay, so what is a tax credit? Instead of a tax credit differs from a deduction in that it reduces your tax liability dollar for dollar, okay? Whereas a tax deduction reduces your taxable income, which then will reduce your tax liability, but it's not dollar for dollar. So a credit is really valuable compared to a deduction, which is good, okay? So why is this important now if it's for the 2020 year? If it's for the 2021 year and you're not going to be filing taxes until, like 8 months from now, why is this important? Well, because they are going to be advancing this child tax credit to qualifying families starting in July 15th, 2021. Okay, that's the estimated start date. Now, of course, you have to meet income limits. You have to fall below the income thresholds, which is $112,000 if you file as head of household and $150,000 if you file as married jointly, okay? The limits is $75,000 for any other type of taxpayers. So the credit doesn't just stop right after those income limits, it gets phased out slowly. I'm not gonna get into any details there, but just know that it phases out if your income is below those, if your income is above those thresholds. Yeah, starting July 15th, eligible taxpayers will start receiving monthly payments of the tax credit. So let's take a hypothetical example here. If you have one child under the age of 6, let's say it's 4 years old, that means you qualify for the $3,600 tax credit. And what that means is you're gonna get a $300 monthly payment starting July 15th. And so that means you're gonna get $300 for 6 months until the end of 2021. That means you're gonna get paid $1,800 in advance before the tax year is over, okay? So what happens then if you file your taxes for the 2021 year next year, since you're due $3,600 of a tax credit, you already received $1,800, you're still gonna get your second half of the tax credit as a actual tax credit when you file your tax return, okay? Same thing applies if you have one kid, let's say he's 10 years old, you're going to get up to $250 each month starting July through December, okay? So you're getting half of the credit in advance and you'll get the other half when you file your taxes for 2021. So what happens if you have a kid born in the middle of the 2021 year? Well, the IRS won't know about it because, he was born just this year. So you will likely just get the full tax credit when you file your taxes at the beginning of next year. And so how does this age thing work? Because it can make kind of a big difference. If your child turns from 5 to 6 in the middle of the year, like how does the IRS calculate that? They're basically just saying if your child will be under 6 years old by December 31st of this year, then you will get the $3,600 tax credit. And if they are over 6 years old by the end of this year, then you'll get the $3,000 tax credit. And of course, if you have kids over the age of 17, then you don't qualify for the child tax credit. So keep that in mind when you are, when you're planning for or budgeting for this extra money that's coming in. Like, just know how much you plan on expecting. Now, there's one slight issue I see with this, is that it could cause some taxpayers to actually owe taxes next year when they usually expect a refund. Now, this could be a rare situation, okay? But just know that it's possible, and maybe you should plan for it. Because let's say you are a taxpayer that normally receives a refund based on your child tax credits, maybe based on your income, your withholdings. Let's say you normally expect a refund. Well, if you're gonna get half of your child tax credit advanced to you, that means your actual tax credit at the end of the year will be smaller. So it may cause you to actually pay the IRS at the end of the year. Now, the differences are not gonna be major, unless you actually ended up adjusting your withholdings, in the anticipation of this larger tax credit, then it could cause more serious issues or a larger gap in which you have to pay. But just know that it's something that can happen, because you're getting advanced some money and then you're only getting half of the tax credit that you normally would at the end of the year. Even though, as a whole, you're still netting positive, you're still netting more of a tax credit than before. But if you didn't plan for it, then it could really take you by surprise, and that could be kind of upsetting, especially if your budget is pretty tight. So just know that it's something that could happen. I'm not saying you should save your entire tax credit to pay for taxes, but just be aware that it's something that can happen and make any backup plans that you need to. So now that you know all this crap about the child tax credit, what do you need to do as a qualifying taxpayer? If you have not filed your 2020 tax return and you have qualifying children, then I would do that ASAP. Okay, you want to make sure the IRS knows about any kids that you might have had in 2020, or you just want to make sure you file your taxes so they know that your income is under the threshold, that you have reported all the kids that you need to in order to qualify for the advanced monthly payments. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that ASAP if you're really interested in doing this. Check the IRS website for updates, because the IRS will be issuing new updates as more information is being released, as they prepare more things. They did say that you will be able to opt out of the monthly advances if you want to. So if that's something that you want to do, check the IRS website for that as well, because I'm sure there'll be some kind of portal, just like the stimulus payments. There'll be some kind of portal, and then you can go on there maybe to check your status, maybe to claim your advanced monthly payments if you didn't file, your taxes in the past or something like that. I'm sure there'll be a portal for you to go on there and self-serve and make sure, you get the credit if you want, or if you want to opt out. Let's say you were due a credit, but you didn't receive it during the year. You didn't receive the monthly advances, but you were due the monthly advances. It will be treated just kind of like the stimulus payments were, where if you didn't receive it, you will receive it when you file your taxes. It will be like trued up at the end of the year. It'll be reconciled based on like how much you should have received as a child credit and how much you did receive actually. And the differences will be reconciled on your tax return, and you will get the full credit or whatever the differences are if you didn't receive the advances. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I said differences a lot and advances a lot, so hope that makes sense. And also something to remember, this is not something you need to pay taxes on because it's a tax credit. So I had some clients, I fired them, that's for a different story, but I had a client who threw away their stimulus payments debit card because they figured that they would have to pay taxes or pay it back anyway. So they received this $1,200 debit card with a stimulus payment on it, and they just threw it away. And they didn't even bother to Google or to look up if they had to pay it back, if they would owe taxes on it. They just threw it away. They threw away $1,200. Well, that's their problem. Keep in mind here, this is not taxable. You don't have to pay it back. If for some reason you qualify for it based on your 2020 taxes, but then let's say in 2021 you made too much money and you technically don't qualify for it anymore, You don't have to pay it back, okay? This is just like the stimulus payment. So if you receive it, just be thankful, you know, blow it on drugs, whatever you want to do with it. I'm just kidding. That's all I got for today. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back next week with some more videos. And of course, again, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. And definitely, I would ask you to subscribe to my channel for updates on things like the stimulus payments, any tax-related issues, accounting issues, all of that crap. All right? So thanks for joining me. Hope you have a good week. Stay safe. Take care.
For a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup.